Hey, good morning. This is Casey Ashmore. I'm coming to you from the studio / the road. I had to move indoors. I'm in the top secret broadcasting location in Houston, Texas, but the city is definitely awake and vibrant. And, traffic here, morning rush hour traffic starts about 1 o'clock in the morning the night before. Just kidding, but not really kidding. And it's just building and noisy and everybody's up and at 'em. And I love it. I love the energy. I love feeling that energy. I love getting up early and watching the sunrise and watching the world wake up and being a part of that. So we're talking about what to expect in the initial consult. And one of the things that comes up are costs. Why are costs so high? Why does it cost so much? A couple of months ago, a client jokingly, but not so jokingly, said, the last time I spent $38,000 on a lawsuit, I didn't really know what I got for it. I spent $38,000 before, and I got a Toyota Camry and a pretty nice car. And I spent the $38,000 on this lawsuit, and I'm not really sure what I got for it. And that is hard to think about. That is definitely hard to think about. The flip side to that is what would it have cost you if you hadn't made that investment, right? I try to think about it in those terms. What would it cost you if you hadn't made that investment? I spent 4 years in the United States Coast Guard to get a $38,000. I don't even think it was 30. I think it was $36,500 GI Bill so I could go to college. And 4 years in service, in uniform. What would it have cost me if I hadn't made that investment? That's how I think about it, right? That $36,500 was the stepping stone to the rest of my life. And in fact, the stepping stone occurred 4.5 years before that at MEPS on San Jacinto Street, where, I walked in at 5 o'clock in the morning, and the first office that was open that had coffee was the United States Coast Guard office. So one, that's early and it's coffee. So those are two of my favorite things. But what would it have cost me if I hadn't made that investment, right? If I hadn't made that investment of time to get the GI Bill, to be able to make that step forward in my life. And same thing, a client a few years ago, surprise attack, got a default judgment against him in a very unfair way and had to spend around that same amount, around $40,000, right? But what would it have cost him if he hadn't made that investment? Well, he had been attacked by his business partners and in an unfair manner in a county here in North Texas, and it took 2.5 years of litigation, and it cost him $40,000+ and change. But we were able to lift from him personally and from his business a $360,000 judgment, which would have just ended his business. And it allowed the judgment creditor to essentially shut down his business. He wouldn't have been able to pay his vendors. He probably would have had to declare business and personal bankruptcy. And making that investment in the lawsuit, yeah, I understand. It's not a Toyota Tundra. You can't see it in the driveway. You can't. But on the flip side is, what would it cost you to not make that investment? What would it cost you to not make that investment? And then again, back to why costs can be so high. It depends on how agreeable the parties are, how much they are willing to compromise. Compromise is not letting the other side win, is giving up some of your rights. They will give up some of theirs so that each party can get a deal they know they can live with. Anyway, if you have more questions, text Ashmore X2 to 47177, Ashmore X2 to 47177. Y'all have a great day. Oh, also chat at ashmorelawfirm.com, chat at ashmorelawfirm.com. Be great. God bless America.